Greetings. This is Alchemistic again. Greetings, gold miners. So I'm going to continue what I was talking about Will and Jada. This is part 2, and I might even do a part 3 because there's a lot here. So like I was saying before, I was saying that Will was in a position of power and a platform that he could have actually turned that situation in his favor. So let me show you what I mean. So if Jada looks at him, he looks like they goes, basically, I have this. So if he wins the Oscar, he goes up to for the acceptance speech and he'll say something like, okay, so Chris, you're talking about my wife's bald head and her look. I think she's beautiful. I know she's beautiful. I have a beautiful wife that supports me. We have our issues. We have our problems. Everybody in the world's pointing at our situation, and we're dealing with it. We're working that out. That's number one. Number two, Chris, I want to ask you, where's your wife? That's right, you don't have one, do you? Not anymore. And this is the Oscar, excuse me. Where's your Oscar? You don't have one of those either, do you? Okay. So when you get a wife and you get one of these, we can talk. But otherwise, you can't even, your words don't mean anything to me. He could have gone serious like that, or he could have made a joke. Chris, why did you get married? Oh, why did you get married? Oh, he could have made a joke, or, you're talking about, what's up, Pootie Tang? What's up, Pootie Tang? That definitely wasn't the color purple. So he could have come with a different type of angle. I mean, maybe that's not funny, whatever. But I'm just giving you an example of what he could have done. What you do when you get in a situation like that is you don't you don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water and all the other elements. See, and you don't even go below the frequency of which you're fighting. Like Michelle Obama said, they go low, we go high. Barack Obama had his wife call all kinds of names, all kinds of terrible things, and he never lost his cool or gravitas because he understood what he was. He's the king. He's the lion. He even looks like a lion. Michelle looks like a lioness. The children were attacked. I mean, horrible things, nasty things. That's the one thing. One of the things that I respect about him is he never really went in on people because it just, what's the point? I'm the lion. I'm the king. I only did, like John Henry Clark said, I only debate my equals. He just always had his cool. You have something called gravitas. You have something called grace under pressure. That's what makes a master. That's what makes a great, Somebody like a Doug Williams when, you have an injury and you come back and win the Super Bowl. That's what makes you a master. That's what makes you great. Is being able to have the thumb put on you and you still rise and shine. Will had an opportunity to step above all of that and master all of that. But due to his inexperience, he actually came out on the other end of it. Something else I want to point out. So what's the name of the movie? Now people say these are coincidences, but in what they say in the ancient ancient texts is that there are no accidents in a world of divine order. Everything is a lesson. Everything is leading to something else. Energy is a frequency, and everything is energy, and everything has a frequency. Everything resonates together, and things that are alike are drawn together. The movie was called King Richard. What was King Richard? King Richard, there were three King Richards. There's Richard the Lionhearted, there's Richard II, and Richard III. Richard the Lionhearted was the one who was fearless, one of the greatest kings, not only of England, but probably on the planet. Just fearless, just powerful. That's why they call him Lionhearted. It's back to that lion again. Just unbelievably powerful man, right? King Richard II had to abdicate. Now, didn't Will Smith just what? He resigned from the Academy, so he abdicated. I don't know if they're going to let him keep his Oscar, which is ridiculous. I mean, he abdicated, right? Why did he abdicate? Because of a situation with his wife. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? He abdicated because of a situation with his wife. And Richard III was only king for 2 years. And everybody remembers him as a bad king, but he wasn't a bad king. He didn't have the personality or whatever. So Will Smith had a choice between different Richards. And he chose Richard II. He could have been Richard the Lionhearted, King Richard. That's no accident that movie is talking about a king, because Will Smith, he's walking among black Hollywood royalty. You have Denzel, who has gravitas, who has cool. You have Sidney Poitier, who definitely has gravitas and has cool. Both of them have won Oscars. You have James Earl Jones. You have Morgan Freeman. You have Sam Jackson. Even though he's kind of rough, he still has gravitas and cool. He has grace under pressure. All masters have grace under pressure. That's how they become masters. You fail, you learn, you drop the ball, but you get up and you're smooth. You handle it. For him to go with his hands, that's a lower vibration. You go with your mind. He could have addressed Chris's comments on the same vibrational level in which they were delivered, but he got up out of his throne, his power base. He got up his throne and walked onto the stage, which immediately eliminated where that wall that, I'm a king. I don't get out and walk and stand in front of a jester. I let the jester be a clown. He's a clown. Let him be a clown. That's where one of the areas he made his mistake. So the King Richard thing is huge. Okay. There's some other things also. His name is Will. What do you use to control yourself? You have will. Is that an accident? His name is Will. So actually he was, no pun intended, weak will. He had weak will. A person who is a master does not let other things influence their emotions, their behavior. They are master of themselves. What Lao Tzu said is, he who conquers himself is the greatest warrior. You are not a king of other people. When you say you're a king of yourself, your universe. The universe is within you. You are a king of yourself, because it's very hard to master yourself. That's what you're a king of, yourself. And he abdicated himself to his emotions. You are not your emotions. You are not your mind. You are divine. You are above these things. When you understand that your divine mind controls your emotions, it controls your behavior, it controls your thinking, or leads your thinking, that's better, and leads your emotions, not the other way around. When your emotions lead the divine mind, you end up in trouble. When the divine mind tells you don't go down the street, and you say, I want to go down the street anyway, if you don't follow your divine mind, you will end up in trouble. That's the big lesson here. That's one of the lessons in the jewels I'm going to drop here. Always follow your divine mind. Your emotions will get you in trouble. How do you discern your divine mind? You take a breath and you step back, and you let the emotions settle and cool for a minute. Now, that's what I mean by your emotions are your dragon. You don't necessarily want to destroy them, but you use them. You ride them. You use them to your advantage. You know, you use your divine intelligence to guide your emotion. That's what Will did not do. And he's listening to Jada, which is a mistake. Jada's not following her divine mind. She's angry. In Buddhism, we have 5 poisons. I'm trying to remember the last one, but I know it's anger, greed, stupidity, and arrogance. They had at least 2 or 3 of those. If you let anger and stupidity, which were 2 of the big ones, and arrogance guide you, you're in trouble. You don't let those things guide you. You let your divine mind. You sit back, take a breath. If you have time, and he had time. It was nobody threatened. There's nobody likes being threatened, whatever. And you deal with it. It wasn't that serious. That's wisdom. That's the lion. That's the master. He sits back and goes, this is not that serious. I'll deal with it later. Jada, take a chill. I got him. An intelligent, well-thinking man will do that. But Will is inexperienced. In this, he's reflective of a lot of things going on right now with people. And at 50, I made some really stupid errors also. See? We were talking about the fool and we were talking about the master. The fool can become the master. See, you can listen to a fool and learn a lot. You can learn as much from a fool as you can a master, because he's already walked down the road that you want to walk down and said, don't walk down that road, because he already walked down the road. The master will tell you the same thing. Don't walk down that road. And at that point, the fool starts to become a master when he learns from that. That's what you learn from. Okay. So his name is Will. Just think on that for a minute. And he didn't have the will or the power to control his emotions. His name is Will. Her name is Jada. I looked up Jada. Jaded. Jaded is a person who's bored with their situation. They're tired of the same old thing. They get bored easily. They want to move on to something else. Doesn't that sound like what was going on with her marriage, maybe? She was bored with the situation. She's bored with it. She just wants some excitement. Her name is Jada. Jaded. That's what Jada means. Chris. Chris comes from Christos, which means anointed. One who anoints, right? Was anointed one. But it also deals with Chris and the cross. Now, here we get ready to go deep in. Watch this. The crossroads. The crossroads, the cross. When you come to the crossroads, you have a chance to elevate yourself. You have a chance to take yourself down. You could sell your soul to Crossroads, or you can elevate yourself and go to the next level of the Crossroads. You can do a lot of things at Crossroads. Crossroads is where the vibrations of higher and lower or different vibrations meet. So it's a portal. You have to step through that portal, and you either go up or you go down. Okay? So Chris Rock was a crossroads for him. It was initiation for him. Can you take it, brother? Because where you're going, like Denzel Washington said, and I'm quoting him, he said, when you reach a certain level and you get to high level, the devil gonna knock on your door. That's what he's talking about. That's one of the things he's talking about. Because with the power comes responsibility. So he literally was at the cross. Chris Cross. He was at the cross. And what is a rock? The dome of the rock, the Chris, the cross on the rock, the crucifixion. When the master was crucified, he went to the next level, supposedly, right? Or whatever, right? So it's energy, it's symbolic of the fact that You crawl when you suffer this, you move to the next level. Okay? You learn your lesson, you move to the next level. That's what it means, right? When you're on the mountain and you're being tempted for 40 days or whatever it is, what do? You learn. You don't give into the temptation to attack. What you do is you let it slide. Okay, I'm not gonna go for the temporary win here. I'm gonna go for the gold. And he went for the temporary feeling of punching this guy or slapping this guy in the face, foregoing a legacy. He actually spit in the face of Sidney Poitier. He spit in the face of Denzel and every other black actor that's out here working. Why do I say that? Because they left a legacy. He left a mark on it. He left a mark on that legacy. Those people, Sidney Poitier carried himself like a prince, a king. You know what I mean? And people did all kinds of things to him. Hank Aaron carried himself like a king. Jackie Robinson, they spit at him. They called him the N-word. All this, and he carried himself like a king. My dad used to say, it's not what somebody says to you, it's how you accept it. Do you really believe what he says? If you believe what he says, then you're going to co-sign on it. When you slapped him, you co-signed on what he said. The Rock. His last name is Rock. Chris Rock. He's like an impediment to he's like a chair in the doorway. I said he represents Sebek. He represents Anubis. He represents Anansi. He's a trickster. He's Loki. He's a trickster. You can see it in his face. Chris Rock is a trickster. He likes to trick and fool with people and mess with their head and all that. He gets off on that. He's been doing that since he was a little kid. That's what he does. You can see it in his face. When you look at people's vibrations in their face, look at their vibrations. You can read what it is. He's a trickster. He was a class clown. He was a guy that can mess with people. He represents that energy. That's the energy you get when you are tested spiritually on any level. You will run across a trickster, and he will see if you're ready. Will Smith was not ready. He was standing at the crossroads. The crossroads, the trickster can lie to you and twist you around. You end up selling your soul. Or you can end up moving to the next level. Most people don't even know that. They think, oh, well, you go to the crossroads, you sell your soul. No, not necessarily. You go to crossroads because you're being tested. That's what the Loki energy, and that's what it does, test you. Now, this is an energy. This is not some idol or something. This represents a certain type of energy, a frequency. Doesn't this look like the Oscar? This is Ptah. Ptah represents power and mastery, the staff. Most masters and kings carry a staff. He represents power and mastery. That's where the Academy got that from. You understand? They got that from that. That's what that symbol means. When you are given that, you reach a certain level of mastery. And Will Smith dropped the ball. The reason why men are saying Will Smith is a simp, he's not really a simp. What he is he violated one of the rules of alchemy. We've talked about this on the power circle. When a person is operating in their all in the spirit, they're above the levels of emotion and influence. They control their life. They don't let other influences control them. They don't know what they need to do, and they don't let other people affect them in that way. They know what their mission is. You know what your mission is? Your mission doesn't come from other people. It comes from the divine. You know what correct is, and when you're in alignment with your mission, they can't mess with you when you're doing what you need to do. That's the whole point. And Chris Rock, Jada, the media, his critics, his haters, the people that call him simp, all those people are what we call pendulums. Transurfing, they call it pendulums. A pendulum is something, if you're here, would grab you, if you let it and pull you this way. Pull you this way, right? And you just go with it and you're just off your target, right? These pendulums just swing back and forth and it's, back in this and you're at somebody else's whim. But when you're a focus master, what you do, this is the pendulum. You step above the pendulum and let it swing underneath of you. Your vibration is so high it doesn't affect you. Everybody else is going with the pendulum, but you just let it swing, but it just swings right on past you. Will, step down and let it take him. He stepped down again off of his platform. You say it's throne, but it's a platform. He stepped off of his platform. He was going to get this honor. He stepped off of the platform and let it affect him. This is a lesson for all of us. Again, when you know what your mission is, when you know what you're trying to do, when you know what you're trying to go, you let no one take you off that mission. No one. You don't let your wife. You don't let your family. If it's going to hurt your wife and family, of course, you make adjustments. You don't let it hurt them. But if you're divinely connected and you know what you're doing, you don't let people affect your dream or your mission. Now, all three of them are not in order. And I'm not judging people because everybody on this planet, this learning place we are, makes mistakes, makes errors. But I'm telling you, all three of them were out of order. Chris Rock shouldn't make comments about other people and maybe dial it back. Jada wanted to be in the Academy Awards and her husband's there, and you're in the moment you don't let it slide off him and know that he can handle it. You're looking at him, and then he gets off point and gets off his mission because both of you are at that point royalty. There are not many people who hold that position, and everybody knew he was going to win it. He killed that role. He's worked very hard to get in that position, and now all of a sudden you squander and throw it away. You take it for granted. I'm going to do part 3. There's more. So stay tuned. I appreciate you tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content. I hope it was contributed to your understanding and to your life. And I'm very, very humble and honored that if you looked at this, I really appreciate it. And once again, don't slay your dragons, ride them.